So everyone's kind of like packing up. The meeting's kind of disintegrated anyway. The guys have been gagged that Feyre's High Lady BT dubs. That is like major, major news for everybody. Gagaganza level shit. But that's not the biggest gag of the event. Okay, not even is the whole My High Lady debacle. We find out that Helion, High Lord of the Day Court, is in fact Lucian's biological father. It's a big, big secret. Feyre manages to decode X plus Y equals Z. Find out that the Lady of the Autumn Court is in fact in love, and always has been in love, with Helion, not her husband Beren. And that Lucian, her youngest son, is in fact Helion's. And Helion has no other children. So Lucian is the de facto heir to the Dawn Court. Hence why he's never really been a threat to Eris, the heir of the Autumn Court. Eris and Lucian are in fact half-brothers. Eris being the oldest of the Lady of Autumn's children and Lucian being the youngest. This is obviously the kind of thing that Beren, High Lord of the Autumn Court, would take a great deal of umbrage to. And so everything is kept super, super secret to keep Lucian safe. Trust me, it's such a good reveal because Lucian does not know. Feyre knows, Rhys knows, Lucian, he has no idea. Oh, I love Lucian so much. I can't wait for him to find out. Turns out Nesta's been getting wound up because she can feel that the cauldron is about to be used. And it is. Hybern uses the cauldron to completely break down the wall between the human land and the Feylands. And everyone can feel the impact of that magic being used. It's like a wave that comes over the land. And Nesta's reaction to that is being violently sick. Like, she literally throws up. This now leaves the humans incredibly vulnerable to attacks from Hybern. So Feyre and the others head to Grayson's home. Grayson being Elaine's human fiance, and they ask him to shelter any humans that need protection because their house is like this big fort. As I've said before, his family are like super duper anti-Fae. While they're having the meeting, Jurian arrives, Jurian of the Eyeball, and he tells them all, look, I'm human. I always was human. I fought on the human side in the war. I've been acting as a spy all this time. I'm working on the inside, trying to bring Hybern down from within. Which is such a gag, but Jurian tells them, well, look, he's planning to attack in the Summer Court tomorrow. So everyone's like, okay, we've got to rush, rush, rush. And just as they're about to go, Grayson breaks up with Elaine. We knew it was going to happen. And like, we're sad for Elaine, but Homegirl needs to move on to bigger, better things. Like my man Lucian. Look, I love Azriel. I know there are loads of people who ship Elaine and Azriel, but I love Lucian so much. And I feel like it could be so good. The two of them together. There's so much growth potential there. Sorry, I will not go into a rant about it. So as Jurian has indicated, there is a battle in the Summer Court. But they put a glamour over Hybern's whole camp so that they can attack without his knowledge. Feyre realizes, though, this can't be Hybern's true army. It's not big enough. And she's like, oh, we don't know what's real. We don't know what's not. We need the truth. And so Feyre goes down a tried and trusted path. She goes to find the one person that has never really set her wrong. Fandom Bay, the Surreal. And you know what? It's really cute. Like, she brought him a cloak and everything. And at this point, they like know each other. It's very sweet. And of course, he gives her advice on how to proceed. And the Surreal lets her know Nesta needs to nullify the cauldron. Okay, the cauldron needs to be taken out of play. But before the Surreal can explain any more, horrible bitch Yanthe. And because of where they are in the woodlands, Feyre has them all hunting her. She runs and leads them into the Weaver's cottage. And let me tell you, the three of them, they're not getting out of that cottage alive. And I make Feyre right, because then she has to go back. And the Surreal dies in her arms. And the poor Surreal. It's been nothing but good all the way through. It doesn't deserve to die. And I'm glad horrible Yanthe meets her end at the hands of the Weaver. That's what she deserves. Now, the group need to find out where the cauldron's stored, and they can't ask the Surreal anymore because the Surreal's dead. So they propose getting Elaine to do something like scry. to find out the location of this item. But Nesta puts her foot down and is like, you're not asking Elaine to do that. Like, that's dangerous. She's not in a good place. I'll do it. So Nesta scries, but as she does, she opens up a connection in the cauldron, and Hyben knows where Elaine is. So he captures Elaine. So now we have a rescue mission to go and get Elaine back. So Feyre shapeshifts and makes herself look like Yanthe, because no one knows that Yanthe's dead yet. And she just goes into town. she goes into the camp to rescue her sister. Asriel's obviously sneaking with her. He is the spy master, very good at sneaking. They manage to free Elaine, and Asriel takes her away. But Feyre can't get out because she's trying to rescue a human. Durian's there, but it's all like, we can't let Hyben know who's working with who. And so guess who it is that helps Feyre escape. You won't. You 100% will not guess if you have not read these books. Because it's Tamlin. Literally. Yeah, I know. Because it's easy for us to forget now that he has been on Team Bad Guy. But Tamlin, this and a lot of his behavior have all come about because he cares about Feyre. And so, of course, he helps her escape. There's a glimmer of hope there, guys. I would really be a fan of seeing some kind of redemption for Tamlin. I want him to be Gwen's dad, but let's not go into that. Let's not go into the theories right now. Anyway, they manage to save Elaine and they get out okay. They know now that Hyben's final attack is coming. He's really, really, ready. So what they do is they winnow as many humans away as possible. They want to minimize the innocent casualties of war, which is how you know we're on the good side. Feyre realizes, yep, they definitely do need the bone carver. It's time to go get that mirror. So she goes and kind of confronts her reflection, and we discover that the reason most people go mad when they look into the Ubros mirror is because it shows your true self, and lots of people can't confront who they really are. They can't confront that truth in front of them. But Feyre takes her time. She looks into the mirror and she sees the reality of who she is, and she comes through the other side. She is okay with that. She's self-aware. And when she takes the mirror to the bone carver, he's like, oh no, I don't actually want it. I just needed to know that you were worthy of helping. And being able to look into the mirror and then take it somewhere else, that's proven it to me. I'm going to come help you. Now, it's really funny because as the war starts and everyone starts fighting, Rhys and Feyre kind of try to outdo each other with the surprise helpers because they've both done what they needed to do to get the bone carver to help, right? But individually, they've both gone, I can get another magical being to come help. So we end up in a situation, and Rhys and Feyre are so proud of themselves. They're both like, that's the feather. What are we like? Not only do we have the bone carver to help us out, but on Team Good Guys, we also have Briaxis from the Library of, because Feyre's shown us that relationship build there, and the Weaver. We've got the Weaver. So we have all three of these insanely powerful beings fighting alongside our crew, who are insanely powerful, with all of the Illyrians and the Fae that they have on their side. Even with all that, though, it's not going great. Until the group have Tamlin, Beren, and Grayson and the humans all come to their aid. Okay, we are seeing that coming together that we knew we would need to, save Prithian. And as they're all fighting, we see some of the cauldron's power being released, and it just carves the line through a ton of the Illyrians. We are like, panic stations! They've got this ray of death coming out of the cauldron. And that just really stresses to everyone the importance of nullifying the cauldron as soon as possible. We also find out that Lucien has done a bit more than just go and find Vassar, the queen. He's been on the mission to go hunt down, because Lucien has clued the Archeron's father into how bad the situation is for his daughters. And so Papa Archeron has gone out and sailed with a fleet of ships to find Miriam and Draken and their little clan over on the island they escaped to. And he's stressed upon them, look, war's come back, Hyben's come back, the exact same cause you guys fought for. it's come back again, please come help us. And he's made the case on behalf of his daughters. So he arrives with a fleet full of ships and Miriam and Draken's army, and he's named his ships after his daughters. He's sailing on the Nesta. So they've got like a full army that they are going hell for leather. Amren and Feyre are obviously rushing to get to the cauldron itself. We get to see Rhys's power, and it's like really scary. He like disappears, like just a whole section of army. He just disintegrates them. You get to see Cassian fight, and he is this phenomenal warlord for a reason. Like, he and Asriel are out there on the plains. It's just, it's a go, go, go. But it's been on Amren to translate the Book of Breathings. And as they're at the cauldron, we find out that Amren has kind of, I don't use the word betrayed, but yeah, she has lied about what it is they have to do with the cauldron. So things are not going right up there by the cauldron. Nesta and Feyre, they find out that Hybern, he's got Papa Archer on. And we even see Cassian, like, nearly die. He's trying to save Nesta. Nesta wants to save him, and they're clinging to each other, okay? And as it looks like the cauldron death ray is going to hit and they're going to be taken out, Cassian's holding her. And we get, like, the most amazing line of, like, the only regret I'll have is that we didn't have enough time. Cassian and Nesta. He's about to die, and that's his only regret in life. That he didn't get to be with Nesta. My babies, what? This is a book of trauma. Okay, I'm not going to imply that it's of the same level as Throne of Glass trauma. Throne of Glass trauma, different league, different universe, different world of pain. But this, it's like, it's just a lot more. It's romantic. The whole series, that's the main difference between the two. This, it's romantic and tragic. But obviously, because they get their own book later on, they don't die. They make it through. But they're honest with each other when they think they're gonna die, you know? We do, however, see the King of Hybern murder Papa Archeron, okay? And this, all the girls are like, no, Daddy. And surprise, surprise, as Nesta is like, reh, to the King of Hybern, she's given it the big un. He's given it back to Nesta, and they're like, blah, 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 bicker, bicker, argue, argue. My homegirl Elaine has snuck up behind Hybern with Asriel's dagger, and she gets him right in the back of the neck. She kills it. It's like, and so while the dagger is pierced through his throat, and he's like, blood, 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 the big baddie's dying, Nesta grabs the blade half and shoves it from side to side and hacks his head off. Oh, so Elaine delivers the, like, killing blow, and then Nesta's like, this is not enough. We must decapitate him. And so they're, like, either side of Hybern as Nesta pulls the dagger back and forth, and then she rips Hybern's head off, and she's holding it like Perseus holds Medusa's head, and Hybern's army's like, what on earth are these Archeron sisters? Who are they? These once human, now fake crazy ladies. Icons, legends, all three of them. Now, this betrayal, what Amren's up to, basically releases her from the Fae form she's been trapped in. Okay, the spell she has them say at the cauldron releases her and breaks the cauldron. And what that means is she is returned back to her original form, and she's like a god, and she sweeps over the battlefield and she just decimates Hybern's army. Absolute, like, goat-like behavior. Literally, she just sweeps over as this, like, ethereal fog cloud thing and destroys everybody. But it means that there is no longer Amren. She is not the, like, not quite human, but the woman we've got to know in the story. She's given up her body and herself to save everybody, and that's cracked the cauldron. So she's not done what she told everybody they were gonna do. Kind of pretends she's done it to free herself, but she's freed herself to protect everybody else. Feyre realizes to keep the world in balance, the cauldron, it needs to be fixed. It needs to be whole. So she starts trying to use magic to fix the cauldron, and Rhys comes and helps her as well. And they have enough power between the two of them. They're going to fix it, but Rhys empties the tank. And we see Rhys die. I know, and I'm gonna get emotional about it, but Rhys pieces out, and we are like, what? That's the price of fixing the cauldron? And it's mental. It's awful. And as he's there, dead on the ground, and Feyre's like, understandably a mess. She turns around to all the High Lords and's like, you've got to save him. You've got to do what you did for me. If you all do it together, we can bring him back. Like, we might not have a High Lord of the Night Court anymore, but I'm the High Lady. I'll put some of my magic in, and you each need to do yours. We need to bring him back. And they're not super keen on it because they know the ramifications of having done that to Feyre. But she looks at them like, he's literally just saved the world. This cauldron is the fountain of the formation of everything in existence. We've basically saved the universe. Like, you have to bring him back. I love him. Please bring him back. And because they're not, you know, utter shitbags, they all do. Beren doesn't want to, but he's like, okay, fair. You've made a very valid point. I would be a real asshole if I didn't. And even Tamlin, Feyre looks at him and she's like, please don't say no. Please don't let this whole debacle stop you from doing what's right. And he just looks at her and he just wants her to be happy. And so he does. He gives his magic and he helps save Rhys because he does love her. He does care about her. And so Rhys comes back. Thank God. And the cauldron is fixed. And so they use the cauldron to bring Amren back. So now Amren, she's not this ephemeral being anymore. She's like actually a fae now, rather than this like otherworldly creature that just looks like a fae. No, she really, really is fae. Illusion properly returns with Vassa, the human queen he's found, who can turn into a firebird. So the whole crew's back together. And we end the book with Feyre asking Draken and Miriam to take the cauldron to their island, wherever it may be, and hide it and keep it safe. So the cauldron no longer resides like on the main Prithian island. And it kind of ends with her calling a meeting to have a proper formalized treaty between all of the courts and all of the humans, now that there isn't like a veil in place. And everyone returns to Valaris. And that was meant to be like the main trilogy. It's meant to be, and they all go off and live happily ever after. But as you can tell, there are more books. So that's A Court of Wings and Ruin. That's everything that happens. Is your mind not blown? My mind's blown. Oh, it's so good. And I hope you've enjoyed this recap. It's been a little bit manic. Like, it wasn't perfect. Knocking cameras, lights coming on and off. But we've made it through the first three, the main Fae Sand books, as they are called. And I really hope you've enjoyed it. I'd love to read your comments on everything that I've just said. Please like this video if you can. Share it with anyone you think would enjoy it or benefit from it. And yeah, if you're enjoying the series, subscribe to my channel, guys. Small but mighty. That's the vibe we're at the minute. But thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you next time as we delve even further into the Massiverse and discuss A Court of Frost and Starlight. My little Christmas deck fell down. Go back. Which is the shortest of the books by far. It's like a little Christmassy novella. So hopefully it won't be like a massive recap like this. And then we get on to Silver Flames. And then we go on to Crescent City. The Massiverse is so cool. Yeah, I'll see you for more videos soon. Goodbye for now.